It's my experience. This is what I discovered. When I stopped the PMO, when I stopped, some people still don't know what PMO is. I understand. Porn, masturbation, orgasm. When I stopped all that, automatically, I went deeper into edging. I mean, I was edging the whole time anyway, even when I was doing PMO. But when I stopped the PMO, I really started edging, because when you do the PMO, when you orgasm, there's a big release of energy. That's a lot of energy. You just bam, and you're probably not going to feel like you're probably going to be good for a little bit. You're not going to want to go look at porn immediately after that, or go edge or anything. You know, you're dull is what it is. You're just dull. It still surprises me, some of these girls. You can see the videos on YouTube. They're like, you got to drain your man. Just keep draining him 6 times a day. Drain him in the morning and at lunch, in the afternoon, a couple times a night. It's like, that's the Antichrist. Like Val Kilmer was right. Remember the Tombstone? Go see that movie if you haven't. That's real good. And the girl's acting like she's taking care of him. She says, don't I take good care of you, Doc? He says, yeah, but you could be the Antichrist. He knew. I mean, amazing. If a girl doesn't appreciate you doing semen retention, man, leave. Try to explain to her if you want, but if the capacity's not there to understand, long term, then you're going to have a problem. You just are. So we're talking about, though, I'm trying to segue into edging and how that's, I like to call it, it's like a slow bleed. So when I was doing the PMO, it's like a cut. It's like it's like a strong blow, right? Because like I say, after the orgasm, do you not know, like, the difference? Like some say, oh, I'm fine after the orgasm. Well, yeah, then you're not a proponent for semen retention, probably. But those that are kind of questioning it, can't you tell after the orgasm how you're probably not going to feel like running up a mountain? I had a guy left a comment. It was good. He says after he's been doing a semen retention streak for a while and he goes to the gym, it feels like he's on like steroids, without the side effects of doing the chemical steroids. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Can you not tell the difference? Now, you see, it gets complicated because some people, they experience a stronger flat line and they feel depressed, and that's why I made videos on that. There's no easy answer or solution. What it boils down to is something inside knows you just should do this. You just shouldn't be wasting your time and energy and destroying your your brain by looking at porn and by beating off all the time. Something just knows, like, I shouldn't do that. And then you don't care about the benefits. You're not looking at the benefits every day, like, what are the benefits? Where are the benefits? Why don't I have them? That comes. That's a byproduct. It comes. It can come in a few days, weeks, months, years. Like, we don't know. But it doesn't matter. You hold fast to the resolve you have because you just know, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's like you shouldn't go out and kill people, for example, right? You don't need, it doesn't matter if you feel good by not doing that or if you're still depressed. No, you just know you shouldn't do that. So you don't do it. Same thing as the semen retention. And then you'll find the benefits may come better because you're not there like looking at the watch, like, where are the benefits? You see, we have to, you have to chill. I made videos on that, flatline and stuff. So when I stopped the PMO in my, I don't know, I was 20, 21 or something, I noticed, man, I became an edging freak. But I didn't feel like I was losing the same amount of energy. I was like, I found the loophole. And then you can find all these teachings that will justify that, right? Marketing scams that I don't know, do they really believe it? I don't know. Some might, but that you read these books and see these people talk. So yeah, man, you edge, you get close to climax, and then you stop, and then they can go more further with it. You bring the energy up and you circulate it, and then you manifest and you become enlightened. And the mind is a trip. At this time and age we're living in, There's so much nonsense out there. So you have to sift through that. When you find somebody that speaks to you, you just listen to them. I've always been like that. I would have one person. Why I want to listen to a bunch of other stuff and just get confused? You just listen to your person. 2 at the most. It's like if I had a good girlfriend, I'm not gonna keep looking around for other girls. It's like, no, I got a good girlfriend. Like, who cares? Maybe you're missing something. I'm not missing nothing. There, I found it. Or a nice car or a nice house. Are you gonna keep shopping for houses and cars? It's just confusing. So don't do that to yourself. So I stopped the PMO. Edging. What's edging? Sexual fantasies, getting close to the climax and stopping. That's a more gross level, but it gets into more subtle level. Trying to get female attraction, hits of validation from women constantly. That's what I would do. That was my thing. And I'd go to third world countries because that was the most fun. Because I'd go to places where there's not a lot of foreigners, and then the girls would just automatically be looking. They're like interested. It's like intriguing, exotic. So I'd go do that, and I'd do it just all the time. And it didn't feel like I was losing energy. It felt like I was getting energy. But wisdom didn't kick. I didn't have the living wisdom yet to look at things in a more holistic, complete way. Because later I realized that was destroying my nervous system. It was creating so much anxiety and restlessness in me because I was just constantly thinking. Anywhere I go, I walk outside. Where are the girls? Are they going to look at me? If I go to the movies, if I go to a restaurant, just anywhere, go to the airport. Everything was centered around getting this hit of female attention. And after some years, I realized, damn, this is breaking me down as bad or worse as the PMO habit. It took some time to realize that, though. That's why I call it a slow bleed. See, the PMO cuts you, boom, you see it. Oh yeah, I shouldn't do that. The edging is more like, it's like a drip of, they cut you a little bit. Like a little bit here and a little bit there and you don't know you're bleeding. But then later you find out. Because once the nervous system crashes, then you're like, okay, what's going on here? It's because I've been edging too much. And you start to expand your definition on edging. It's not just you get close to the climax and stop. That's like the stereotypical definition of edging. Edging, lusting, it's synonymous. You start looking at all the ways that you're still stuck in this sexual instinct, nonsense. And you start to pay attention how that bleeds your energy. I used to, when I wake up in the morning, usually the morning or the evenings is what gets most people. For me, it was more like in the morning as opposed to night. I mean, I had a season where the nights were tough, But I'd wake up in the morning, you wake up in the morning, you're full on usually. Erection, like you're ready to go. And you're kind of in a kind of dazed state because you just woke up. The mind likes that time. It can get you because we're like weak in the morning. Because we just came out of this sleep state. So, we're not. And so then the mind, that coupled with the erection, it's like the mind, for me, was easy to trip into some sexual fantasy, whatever that is. Scenarios, past girlfriends, or past porn scenes, or you just create your own, whatever. That was my thing in the morning. I wouldn't orgasm, but I'd play with those fantasies, and then maybe I would arouse myself a bit just to give more of a dopamine hit. That was better than doing the full-on PMO, but at some point, because we start to grow, we have to let that go too, because I noticed the rest of my day, when I would do that in the morning, the rest of my day, I'd be like lower level, lower vibrational. I wouldn't have as much energy. Energy meaning I wouldn't have the vitality. I wouldn't be as sharp mentally. I'd be kind of like, more easily frustrated and could get upset easier. I lost something, some spark or something. It's like, where's my freshness? It's like, why don't I have that today? Then I'd remember, well, look how you started your morning off. It's like the worst time to do it, man. So check yourself if you're doing that and start paying attention to these edging behaviors and if it's messing you up or not. if it's keeping you from experiencing a more sense of balance and inner serenity. Do your introspection and see. Don't take my word for it. I mean, you can take my word for it just to get you started so that you can do your own introspection, but ultimately we have to see these things for ourselves. You can't have somebody just tell you everything. It doesn't work. You know, one can inspire you to do what you know you already need to do. Yeah, okay. A good guide or teacher can do that. But they can't like give you your experience. You have to just, you get this knowledge from inside by just paying attention, just do an introspection in your life. Don't be a sleepwalker or zombie. Just pay attention. Now, if you feel like, no, man, edging's actually cool. I just need to stay away from the PMO. I understand. That's what I did too. That's what I said. So you do that. Let that season play out. And I'm not being condescending. Let it play out. You can only be where you're at anyway. You can't pretend to be, you know, on different levels. You be at the level you're at. You go through that level fully. When it's time to go to the next level, it'll be automatic. It's like you're in middle school. When it's time to go to high school, yeah, you're just ready. You go to high school. You don't need somebody to tell you about it. You like go to high school. So if these things that I share now don't make a lot of sense, maybe later they'll make sense. Accept where you are. Don't try to be where you're not, because then that's worse than just accepting where you are. I loved edging for a while, and then the season ended. Now I love not edging. But there's no way, how could I transfer the living wisdom I have now back onto me when I was 20 or 30? It's like, it's impossible. I see how the process has to happen. It has to, you know, we're in this evolutionary process. This is the game of life. It's an evolutionary process. If you want to see my spiritual channel, Spiritual Renaissance, I really get into that more. So that's my message. Leave me any questions or comments you have, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.